Are listening to Mike Guido and Josh Tariff. Buckle up! Buckle up!
Morning.
Yeah.
Here we are.
Sing along.
Mike and Josh.
You know the words.
Mike and Josh.
Let's do it.
Josh.
Bring it down.
Let's run it back.
Run it back. I didn't
Run
hear
it
you sing
back.
along. I didn't hear you sing.
Run it.
And I know you have an angelic voice. So I don't know why you didn't sing.
Good morning, world, and all who inhabit it. This is Mike and Josh here exclusively on the Grid Network. I'm Mike Guido. That's Josh Tariff. It's great to have you with us on this Tuesday morning. Sorry for the late start. I've had quite the hectic morning. As you can see, I'm rocking my mad scientist hairdo at the moment. So
Well. Do you care to elaborate on your insane morning that caused you to have the incredible static in your hair that we are when like some young Einstein type
let's just say that there was some running around that needed to get done and some time-consuming things that caused me to not at least put water in my hair to make it not look as ridiculous as it does now.
Well, it gave me time to get my peppermint mocha, so all is right with the world.
See, there you go. That was the real reason, is I needed to give Josh time.
I needed some caffeine. It's early for me.
Holiday coffee. That's it. So, plenty of stuff to hit on today. In about 15, 20 minutes or so, did the college football playoff get it right? Did the committee get it right? Right? That's the big controversy right now, is whether or not the committee made the right decision of leaving out Notre Dame, right? And now Notre Dame isn't playing in a bowl game, and I don't know that really matters because bowl games are fairly pointless and whatever. But did they get it right? We'll talk about that in about 15, 20 minutes. The Clippers, we have their whole shelled out timeline laid out for you as to what is going wrong with this organization. So we'll talk about that towards the end of hour number one, maybe the top of hour number two. Also, before we get into anything, we did get breaking news in Major League Baseball. Finally, after the first 2 days of the winter meetings, I put it in the description of the show. My attention is going to be half with you and half with my phone, Josh. It just is. Okay. It's this time of year. This is what we get for having a show during the winter meetings. I am a off-season baseball nut, so I need to have, I am in constant Twitter refresh mode. But we finally got some breaking news. Kyle Schwarber is headed back to the Philadelphia Phillies. 5 years, $150 million, $30 million a year. That was something that I could have expected. I thought he was going to go back. He loved the city. They love him. I think that takes them out of Kyle Tucker. So this is a big move, and I think it could open up the floodgates. We finally. Oh, and we have more. Oh, my
Breaking news. What do we got?
What do we got? Kyle Schwarber signed with the Phillies. That seems to have opened the floodgates. Boy, Met fans are going to hate this. If you're a Met fan, I feel sorry for you.
What we got?
Edwin Diaz, their star closer, is headed to the Dodgers.
Whoa.
Edwin Diaz is headed to the Dodgers.
Hold on, I have my phone on Do Not Disturb during the show. I'm going to lift it just to see if I've already gotten messages about that, being that I live in LA. Wow.
That is deflating for the rest of Major League Baseball.
Wow.
That is deflating. It really is. So, again, we have other things to talk about today. We have topics and everything like that, none of which are baseball related. But we just got this massive influx of two major moves in Major League Baseball, right? So Kyle Schwarber ends up back in Philadelphia. I think that was something that everybody could have expected. I know that there was the report the Pirates laid out like a 4-year deal worth $30 million per year. I think a lot of people felt that that wasn't going to end up happening. There was a lot of talk of how the Reds were in the picture because he's from Ohio. He's from suburban Ohio. That I thought was a bit of a long shot. There was a lot of talk about the Mets being in on Schwarber, but he ends up going back to Philly, which is something that I thought was going to happen, and it made sense. And it was something that I think they needed to get done. He just fits so perfectly in with that city. But now we have Edwin Diaz, the former star closer for the Mets, is headed to the Dodgers. Will Salmon had it first. I am. There are no details right now on what the actual deal is, but it is being reported right now by multiple people that Edwin Diaz is leaving the Mets to go to the Dodgers. And the Dodgers' big issue in their run to the World Series last year was the effectiveness of their bullpen. And it's not that they're invested in it, right? Last offseason, they signed Tanner Scott to be their closer. He was very underwhelming for them. They signed Kirby Yates, who, again, was a very effective reliever. He was not very good for them last year. Blake Trinan was not very good for them last year. They just had a lot of inconsistencies. And if you remember, in Game 7 of the World Series, in order for them to win that game, every pitcher they threw in that game were all starters. They didn't even dip into their bullpen. Everybody was a starter. Now they bring in quite possibly the most reliable closer in the sport to maybe shore up the. I mean, boy, oh boy.
Because they were starting to try to lean to, okay, maybe we'll move like Sasaki to that type position, but don't need to now.
No,
don't need to worry about that at all now. If you're bringing in a guy who just got 28 saves with a 1.63 ERA last season.
Yeah, I am. That is quite. I'm very curious to see what the deal is. Met fans are again. I'm seeing it all on Twitter. Met fans are pissed right now.
My phone is getting a lot of celebratory texts that way because everyone's just like, "Oh my God, we got to win Diaz." I'm like, apparently.
I know. Josh's phone is blowing up with celebrities texting him, saying, "Oh my God, we got in with Diaz."
You have no idea. I'm trying to tell Timothy Chalamet to stop bugging me. I know he's a New York guy and he's upset. But like, man, I'm trying to do the Mike and Josh show. Lay off.
I know. Seriously. Come on, Timmy. Come on. Chalamet.
And now the Rock's trying to call me to talk about it. Dude, I'm busy.
God. Listen, I know he's incredibly good looking, and I know that he's incredibly knowledgeable and fun to talk to, but we're busy right now, fellas. Man.
I wasn't sure if you were talking about Chalamet or me, but thank you.
Obviously talking about you. Obviously talking about you. I actually find Chalamet to be a little bit creepy, but that's neither here nor there. Anywho, when we get the details of the deal for Edwin Diaz of the Dodgers, we'll bring it to you. Now, at 11:30, we will officially get into our first design topic of the day. Let's talk about, Josh, the Kansas City Chiefs, right? So this past week, they suffered, quite the loss to the Houston Texans in Kansas City. They fall to 6-7. Patrick Mahomes, this has to be one of the worst games of Mahomes' career. It has to be, right? He was 14 of 33 for 160 yards, no touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. He did run for 59 yards, but who cares about that? And he did catch a pass, by the way, for negative 10 yards. So
I mean, that's a stat in itself. I mean, that's only in most fantasy leagues that's a zero because catch point for the catch and -1 for -10 yards.
That's true. It's true. I mean, this just look, Josh. One of the big stories of this game in particular is the Texans' defense is very, very good. That's a really good defense on all levels.
Yes, it is.
But what do you think right now? Do you think that this game had more to do with how good the Texans' defense is? Or is it just over for the Chiefs? Because it feels like to me they've been making these kind of mistakes all year. It just doesn't feel the same. It's not the fearful Chiefs that we're used to seeing. What do we make of this? Are the Chiefs done?
I mean, they are certainly done for this season. There's no doubt about that. Their odds of making the playoffs are, I think, at best 16%. And that would involve them winning out plus a lot of help in addition. I'll get more into the Chiefs in a second, but I really think there has to be more talked about Houston and what they've been doing. They've won 5 in a row with wins over Jacksonville, Buffalo, a healthy Indy at the time, and now Kansas City. And Houston has suddenly become the team that nobody wants to play in the playoffs with this defense.
Yeah.
And Stroud has been, maintaining the offense. Obviously, he's not putting up incredible numbers by any stretch of the imagination.
Right. Yeah.
But he's managing it for the defense to dominate. I mean, this is going back to, it's reminding me of Von Miller, Denver Broncos, where they were kind of stuck with a combination of ready to retire Peyton Manning and the great Brock Osweiler leading the way. But their offense was doing just enough while their defense was just so dominant.
Yeah.
And when you start the season 0-3, but you still maintain the mindset of, no, we can right the ship. We can figure this out. We can still take this division. And now all of a sudden, like I said, 5 in a row, and your last 4 games are against Arizona, Las Vegas, the Chargers with no offensive line, and Indy, who everyone's hurt.
Right.
So, they have the potential of going 9 straight into the playoffs. Maybe they lose one of those last 4, but get in. And that has to be celebrated. Of course, we all just want to talk about the Chiefs, and understandably so, because, oh my gosh, is Patrick Mahomes done? Andy Reid should retire. Travis Kelce should retire. The Chiefs' run is over. It's over for this season. Look, they're not going to make the playoffs this year. I do not think Chiefs are going to be, in a rebuild mode because you still have one of the 3 best quarterbacks in the NFL running your team. They will be in a retool mode because they're having too many drop passes. Their running game, while it's never been top tier, it's definitely fallen worse than it's been. And their defense is starting to age. So they definitely have areas where they can, get pieces, whether it's with the draft, because, when Pacheco first came out, I think it was a 6th-round pick. Obviously, he brought that piece that they needed. Edwards-Helaire, when he first came out, was that piece that they needed. And between that and trying to bring some free agents, because at the end of the day, people will still want to play with Mahomes and they still want to play with Andy Reid. Neither of them are going anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah.
Honestly, I still think Andy Reid's got a number of years left.
I agree.
So I can understand Chiefs Kingdom and guys like Nick Wright panicking. But I think you're still going to be okay going into next season. midseason, now is a time to try to give some of these other guys some more opportunities. See what Xavier Worthy can truly do, because he hasn't done much yet, but he hasn't really had a ton of opportunities. Tyquan Thornton, when Rashid Rice was hurt, Thornton was becoming the deep threat for them at receiver, and he started to emerge. And then when Rice came back, they stopped using him.
Right.
Bring him back into the fold a little bit. Now you got to try to piece together, who do we have that we know that we can move forward with? Because there are guys that you got to move away from. One of which might be Travis Kelce, because that drop at the end of the game, I know he had a couple others. I mean, these are the type of things where when he's throwing it on himself like he was, because he's the type of player you want on your team. He celebrates you, he lifts you up, but then he'll take his own self-accountability. He's got some questions on how much longer can he really go. Plus, he's got a wedding to prepare for, so that always brings stress.
That's true. Yeah, that's a whole. Yeah, right. 100%.
But I mean, where do you think? Do you think Chiefs are rebuild or retool?
I certainly think that they are retool. Here's the thing. I think the Chiefs are not done in the sense, but I do think that their philosophy needs to change a bit, because they are now, I think, transitioning into a team that needs to rely more on running the football, trying to control pace of play, rather than the old Packer mentality with Aaron Rodgers of, we have Aaron Rodgers and you don't, and that's how we're going to win games, right? I don't know that era is here anymore, okay? You got to remember, the Chiefs offensively, if you just look at them as a team, this is not a bad offensive team.
Not at all.
They're sixth in total offense. They have the fourth best passing offense in the game, right? They around middle of the road as far as their rushing offense, and as far as how many points they score. They're borderline top 10 in that category. But this is a team, to me, that looks like they make too many mistakes. The current construction feels figured out by everybody else. Everybody knows how to play the Chiefs now, right? You can see Travis Kelce's age. He's no longer the weapon that he once was a couple of years ago. And you started seeing that last year with Kelce. It just, again, and I think this is his last year anyway. I'm pretty sure he said he was going to retire after this year anyway. But there certainly is a lack of fear when you play the Chiefs. It doesn't feel the same. It feels very inconsistent. It feels a little one-dimensional, right? Like, if Kareem Hunt is your go-to back, that's just an issue now. It's just
that was great in 2013.
Oh, right. Kareem Hunt that old? Oh my God. But
I mean, I don't know if he's that old, but he's been around a long time. Now that's making me need to look up his
I can't remember when he got drafted, but I think it has to be like 2016 or something like that. I think it's got to be something around that nature.
2017.
2017 is when he got drafted. So, but that's 8 years ago now, Josh. So, there is just a lack of consistency here with the Chiefs. They certainly need help running the football. I think that's a really big issue for them. Their offense is so one-dimensional. They don't have to put too much effort into stopping the run. Listen, I think what they've done as far as they've done a really good job, I think, of padding their defense over the last number of years, right? Like, they've really done a good job of, with obviously Chris Jones is a stud, but guys like Trent McDuffie and George Karlaftis, and these are guys that are really useful defensive players. Nick Bolton, I think, is one of the more underrated linebackers in the game right now. They have a good defense. This is a definitely a Super Bowl defense. I just look at their offense and I see mistakes being made that weren't before. A bit of a one-dimensional element to it. I just don't, like you said, it certainly is over for this year, no doubt about that. But this is something that I think they can fix, but it's going to take some looking inward over the course of the offseason, trying to maybe do something there during the draft to kind of retool this. That's what they need right now. They got to go kind of out with the old guard and in with the new, I think.
Yeah, and then one other thing to look into that we were talking about, Travis Kelce, he has one more year on his contract. So he was currently on a contract that had guaranteed money. So it was roughly $17 million a year up until through next season. So I would not be surprised if he does go one more year, because that's what his contract goes to.
Right.
They need, though, to then start considering putting him as the Noah Gray type position, as the backup tight end, and try to bring someone else in, or draft, maybe get another tight end in the draft so Kelce can help develop him into next season.
So we have numbers, by the way. We have a reported number on Diaz's deal for the Dodgers. It is a 3-year, $69 million deal. So $23 million a year for Edwin Diaz. That is the new all-time high for a reliever in AAV.
Wow, really? So for someone considered as a closer, that is the highest contract?
That is the highest ever given.
Wow.
Is a $23 million AAV. I mean, keep that in mind. I mean, that's almost like that's getting damn near close $30 million a year for a reliever. Like that's a lot of money. So the Dodgers weren't kidding of their efforts to fix their bullpen. This is as big a piece as you can bring in.
Right. And like you said, that was really the one weakness of the Dodgers, because we know there's no issue hitting. And they got, some great starting pitching. It was what happens between innings 6 through 9.
Right.
And now, with the money that they continue to have, now you pay the highest contract ever for arguably the best closer in baseball, or if not the best, top 3. And now, immediately, I would love to see, once Vegas updates the betting odds. At this point, the Dodgers, would be like minus 300 to win the World Series again.
I mean, listen, and you got to look at this also from a Mets perspective, because like the Mets are obviously the big losers here, because when the feeling that I got was when the Mets signed Devin Williams. The Mets signed Devin Williams to a 3-year, $51 million deal. Okay? So that's $18 million less, $6 million per year less than what Diaz got. That's what they signed Devin Williams for. Devin Williams had a terrible year with the Yankees last year. So Devin Williams said during his press conference with the Mets, his introductory press conference with the Mets, he said that every team that contacted him was regarding their closer role. So teams were still looking at him as a closer, including the Mets.
Yeah.
So the writing, I think, could have been on the wall here for the Mets losing Diaz. But listen, if you're a Met fan today, that's a huge, huge loss. Unless Devin Williams finds his old way, which is not. I mean, listen. Other than his bad year with the Yankees last year, Devin Williams' career with the Brewers was. I mean, he was up there with the best closers in the game. Can he can he find that again with the Mets? He's going to be their closer. So I don't know. We'll see. But this certainly, if you're a Met fan, this hurts. This hurts a lot.
And by the way, as of December 1st, Dodgers were plus 370 to win the World Series, which was by far the favorites, which we knew they'd be the favorites.
Yeah.
So we'll see later today. I'm sure the odds will be changing, and make them even closer to even money to possibly win the World Series, which is absurd to think.
There's no value in betting the Dodgers anymore. None. Right? Like, why would you take that risk for, such little payout at that point?
Well, that goes back to earlier in the last week when LeBron James ended his double-digit point streak. Did you see there was a guy that game who bet $15,000 that LeBron would get at least 10 points to win like $400?
Yeah.
And it didn't happen, and they lost $15,000.
Yeah. That's just another level of like degeneracy, I think.
Yes, that is true.
I mean, you have to wonder how many times he's done that too, right? Like
how many times that guy made that bet? Yeah. I mean,
absolutely. He's probably made that bet 1,000 times. Am I wrong? Like, he's probably made that bet for, I mean, it has to be forever.
Well, if you think about it, if he made that bet 1,000 times, would he have broken even at that point then? When he finally lost it? Because the profit is so small.
Right.
Because it was such a given for almost 1,300 games.
I know. LeBron's going to need to lock his doors and windows and hire security, I think, at that point. He probably already has security, but again.
Yeah.
Betting $15K to win $400 and then you lose is really that is the ultimate bad beat. I think that's just a terrible beat.
Yeah.
By the way, my buddy Dalton Brown, who I host the Bicoastal Baseball podcast with, just texted me. He said, "Edwin for only 3 years. What a dream. Diehard Dodger fan." Sometimes I hate him. I just do. Like, God, it makes me sick. Anyway, let's get into the comment section real quick. Patrick Brown, thank you for commenting again. What up, fellas? Happy Tuesday. Cry, Eagles, cry. Ooh. Philly hurts. Ooh. He said, hurts, doesn't it? Those vile, foul-mouthed fans crashed out in real time. But I mean,
so a close friend of mine who lives out here in LA, diehard Eagles fan, was at the game at SoFi last night. First off, and I know we kind of touched on this with the Rams a few weeks ago on how they don't seem to have any fans. They are like the Steelers compared to the Chargers.
It's true.
There was
other than that
Eagles fans for every Charger fan in attendance.
Right. Other than that little Asian lady that is on the that's really it. You know what I mean? It might just be the only fan they have.
But I mean, last week you mentioned and I'm giving you credit, Mr. Guido.
Wow, I never.
You mentioned. I know. I'm shocked too. You mentioned the Cowboys could win a division, and I looked at you and I'm just like, that's just crazy. Mm-hmm. No, it ain't. Not anymore. To me, the Cowboys were the biggest winners last night.
Yeah.
Based on what happened. And Jalen Hurts, who successfully had 2 turnovers in 1 play, which I don't think is a sentence any of us would ever thought we would have said.
Yeah, I loved your tweet last night that you wonder how many times in NFL history somebody has turned the ball over twice in one play.
I don't remember if they announced. I'm sure they said, was it the first time ever, or did it happen once before?
I don't know.
It hasn't happened in our lifetime.
No.
So between that and as good as their defense played last night, because this was a fantastic defensive game by both sides, there's something wrong with Hurts. Like, there's something that we don't know about, because this is not the same person we've seen the last couple of years. Saquon started turning to regular Saquon yesterday, but then they stopped giving him the ball. So I know everyone talks about the new offensive coordinator, which I'm sure certainly plays a big role in this.
Yeah.
But there's a lot more going on with Philly than meets the eye. And they might, to your critique last week, they might stumble out of the playoffs entirely.
Yeah.
Can you imagine all of a sudden the Eagles and Chiefs both missed the playoffs?
It would be the ultimate NFL thing to happen, right? I mean, isn't that's the thing, right? Is about half the teams that make the playoffs in 1 year don't the next year. Like it's
but hasn't happened with both of the Super Bowl teams?
With both teams that were in the Super Bowl last year, right? How crazy. How crazy. Patrick Brown again, Kansas City Swifties are done. They were done in the Super Bowl versus Philly, 40-6, and they never recovered. I can live without seeing Kansas City in the postseason. Houston has the number one scoring defense. Yes, they do, allowing 16 or so points a game. They're the team nobody wants to play in the wild card round. That is,
he agrees with me. He agrees with me. Yeah,
yeah. Nobody wants to play that defense in a playoff setting.
So let's just say what are the playoff standings right now? Like if the season were to end today, I'm pulling it up as we speak.
If the season were to end today, the Texans
Houston would play New England.
Would play New England in Foxborough, right?
I mean, that's
a lot for a rookie quarterback, not a rookie, a second-year quarterback to deal with.
In his playoff debut, yeah.
Right.
I mean, that's a really tough matchup. I can tell you, New England is praying that Houston wins their division and takes the 3 spot from Jacksonville.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think this honestly could come down to, like, because I think the Colts, unfortunately for the Colts, I think their season's over, right? Like their season's, Daniel Jones is over.
They're done.
They're done. The Jags' remaining schedule, home against the Jets.
When?
They play the Jets this week at home.
Yeah, they win.
Then they go on the road to Denver. They go on the road to Denver. Then they're on the road against the Colts, and they finish the season at home against Tennessee. So here's the deal. We just looked at the Texans' schedule before, right? Where we thought that like the Texans could run the table on this. Home against the Cardinals, home against the Raiders. They go at the Chargers, and then they finish the season at home against Indianapolis.
Right.
I mean, who holds the tiebreaker between the Texans and the Jags? Because that could be the deciding factor of who wins the division.
I honestly don't know offhand. Right now, in division play, Houston's 4-1, Jacksonville's 3-1. So that's not decided yet.
But and they don't play each other again.
And they don't play each other. I know Houston has a tiebreaker over Indy if somehow Indy were to end tied with Houston, but we just said we don't foresee that happening.
Right.
So I really what is the next section of the tiebreakers after division? Is it head to head?
I want to say it's head to head.
Let me see. I'm pulling up Houston's previous schedule. They split their series with Jacksonville.
So that is it.
So
Strength of schedule. I honestly don't even know how deep that goes.
Yeah,
but
okay. If only there was an online search engine that could give us these type of answers.
I know. The World Wide Web.
Breaker rules for NFL playoffs. Okay. So head-to-head, we know that's split. Divisional record could be the same. Common games, best won-loss tied percentage in games played against common opponents, minimum 4, which they would have if they're in the same division.
Right.
So then you got to look at who else they played in this season at they both played together. And then conference record would be after that.
Okay.
So it's going to take some math here.
Yeah, I think it's going to take some. So if the Texans win out and the Jags go 3-1 because they lose to Denver on the road, then I mean the division is within reach for Houston without a doubt.
Yeah, I will say one thing I'm noticing, both so the AFC South also played the NFC West this season. So the Texans were currently 1-2 against the NFC West. They play Arizona this coming Sunday, while Jacksonville are 2-2. So if Houston beats Arizona, we're tied there also.
We're tied there.
Jeez.
It is remarkable.
Are we going to have a coin flip for the 3 seed in the AFC? Is that what we're going to come down to?
Yeah, right. Yeah. One overtime playoff, maybe.
Oh, that'd be fun.
That would be fun.
It will probably get to that. I think it's like the strength of schedule thing, which obviously can't be decided until the season's officially done.
Yeah. All right, we are. Listen. Since due to the late start, we're already kind of heading into hour number 2 here, but we'll be back after this. Did the College Football Playoff Committee get it right by leaving Notre Dame out? That's coming up next.
What up, Cowboys Nation? We are Cowboys Can Fan.
You know, like Canadian fan. And we're big Dallas Cowboy fans. We live stream every Dallas Cowboys game with our unapologetic, intoxicated play-by-play and color commentary, and we guarantee you won't find anything like this anywhere else.
We do that in the ring together?
We told you not. So Bland was here to stay, baby.
And if you like to have a couple cold ones,
Crack 'em if you got 'em, son. Crack 'em if you got 'em, son.
Crack 'em if you got 'em. And watch the Dallas Cowboys play football.
you need to join us 1 hour before the Cowboys kick off, throw your score prediction in our live chat, and if you're right, guess what? We'll send you a shirt, some Can Fan merch.
Click the link, check us out, and subscribe if you like what we do.
Oh, and remember, BYOB.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Bring your own boosh.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Bryson Carver, and I'm the host of the Carving It Up podcast right here on the Grid Network, as well as my own personal YouTube channel, Carving It Up with Bryson Carver. On my show, talk about a number of the biggest topics in the world of sports, as well as culture and entertainment, and I include special segments such as Bryson's Best 10, The Vol View, and one of my favorites, Carving Up the Context. I also like to invite special guests on the show to get different insights and perspectives on topics, and most importantly, I love to hear from you, the audience, in the chat below. So check out Carving It Up 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific time on YouTube, Facebook, X, and on Instagram. Check the show out anywhere you get your podcasts as well as on the YouTube channel. Appreciate you guys.
Alex Rodriguez is coming out with a documentary, and it goes into detail like he's never talked about the steroid part of it and all the pressure, you will do a lot more desperate things to try to stay relevant. And you can see that he was straining to be this person that he wasn't, instead of just being the person that he always should have been. Just, I'm Alex Rodriguez, because of imposter syndrome. He had to be somebody that he wasn't. Goes to the Yankees, gets another big fucking contract. I empathize with that, because when you're this great player and people are looking at you and they're looking through you, it makes you realize that maybe Alex doesn't matter. I have to be A-Rod.
Yo, this is Barry Grant Jr. I want to give a big shout out to Mike and Josh, and be on the lookout for more clips from All Even Podcast.
This is Patrick L. Brown, lead journalist here at the Grid Network, reminding you to make sure that you check out all of the latest articles over on the Grid's webpage under the blog section. There you will find the hottest takes in sports, mixed in with some mental health articles as well. Dare to be different, enter the Grid, your new leaders in digital media, sports, and entertainment. As I always say, stay tuned.
Well, thank you, Patrick. We're here in hour number 2 now, here on Mike and Josh, exclusively on the Grid Network. I just want to so I don't have the video pulled up on the stream. So I am just going to play it into the microphone from my phone. Okay.
Okay.
This is Frank the Tank's reaction to Edwin Diaz signing with the Dodgers.
Oh, no, Frank. Oh, poor Frank.
Okay.
Poor Frank.
This has to be. Here we go.
Have you checked Twitter in the last minute? There's a report, Edwin Diaz to the Dodgers. I knew it was gonna fucking happen. I knew it! This is why fucking David Sun sucks. They're gonna lose 194 games next year. Baseball is dying. The commissioner wants is like, he's a fucking Dodger fan. And then the other half of Atlanta next year is gonna be Pink Pony Club. Pink Pony Club. They're gonna have Pink Pony everywhere. God damn that fucking goddamn song.
I think he's handling it well.
I think he's actually doing. It was.
I think he's handling it well.
I thought it was hysterical when he said the Mets are going to lose.
He sounds very understanding.
The Mets are going to lose 194 games next year. Oh my God! You got to love Frank, man. You got to love Frank. He might listen. He might be the only guy in sports that is a bigger crash out than me when it comes to their sports teams. I mean, you should have seen, Josh, I kid you not. And yesterday was a very tough day for me because yesterday was the 1-year anniversary of when the Mets signed Juan Soto away from the Yankees. I'm grateful that you did not know me on that day because your opinion of me would have changed. You would have said, I will not be associated with this nutcase anymore. I was inconsole. I was so broken. I had to leave because I was like, if my wife sees me like this, like she's just gonna leave. Like she's just gonna walk out the door and be like, okay.
I mean, to be fair, I still feel that way about you, but apparently I'm contractually obligated to continue to do the show.
It's true. That's true.
So
yeah.
So we're gonna push through it. We're being good teammates. I have my guarantee money like Travis Kelce, so I'm gonna go at least one more year. And I'm old and beat up and can't handle the QB's calls anymore, and but I'm getting paid, so
you're gonna
you're gonna make I'm getting paid.
Yeah.
What?
Well, listen, you can handle it like an NBA star. Demand the trade, make a big stink, You know, you could be the James Harden of this show if you really wanted to be.
Oh, don't tell me that, because I'm just going to have tremendous takes in unimportant episodes, and then when the episodes matter the most, I'm just going to fumble and be terrible. Also have an obnoxious beard. So I don't think I want that at all.
You could pull off the beard. Who says you couldn't pull off?
I did a COVID beard. So during the pandemic, since I wasn't going anywhere, I finally decided I'm, for the first time in my life, going to try to grow a beard. And then when friends saw me at first, they were just like, "Whoa, you got a beard. This is like, that looks great. Good for you." And then when I saw them again, they're like, "Oh, you still have the beard." Yeah. And I was just like, "Oh, well, that might be a sign that the beard's got to go, because clearly it wasn't working." So it was one and done for the beard.
So let's jump in to the let's jump in now to the top of hour 2, the college football playoff. That obviously is the big topic right now, where your college football playoff is as follows. Okay. Indiana, Ohio State, Georgia, Texas Tech. They're getting buys. I think that kind of makes sense, right?
Sure.
You got Oregon, Ole Miss, A&M, Oklahoma, Alabama, Miami, Tulane, and JMU. So here's the thing. Like, I know that there are a lot of people that are complaining about JMU and Tulane. Like, their bids are automatic. Like, there's nothing you can do about Tulane and JMU. The thing that I think a lot of people are getting aggravated about is the fact that Notre Dame got axed from the playoff in favor of 3-loss Alabama. Where do you fall on this, Josh? Because, like, I've kind of felt similar to how our good buddy Tim Barnard, I think, is right on this a bit, where he says, listen, if you had just ranked Notre Dame below Alabama or below Miami for the course of the year, then I don't think anybody would have a problem. But it made no sense that you ranked them higher than both of those teams and then axed them in the last week. So I think that's kind of where I fall on this. But what do you think, Josh? Did the College Football Playoff Committee get it right?
I mean, every year,
it is every year.
There's always going to be one or two teams that, oh no, like, they didn't get it right. You can make the argument for blank team. And I mean, you know, you can make the argument for Notre Dame. You could also make an argument for BYU, really, if you wanted to try to push for it. So I just simply look at it in this way. Alabama has 3 losses. Notre Dame had 2. Based on that, I would think Notre Dame would be above Alabama. I don't know how they would rank them. Obviously, then you got to look at your strength of schedule and your conferences and all that. So they did what they had to do. To me, this kind of stems back with what I was mentioning last week when we were talking about Ole Miss, who, by the way, also odd, they lose their coach, they don't play at all, and their rank didn't change. So that's just kind of weird in itself, too.
Right.
But college football continues to be more and more broken. And I'm not saying it's broken based on how they set up the playoffs. Again, you can make the argument back and forth between Alabama and Notre Dame. You have valid points on this side. You can make valid points on that side. Now, though, you have Notre Dame immediately bouncing back and saying, well, we're Notre Dame. So if we're not in this national spotlight playoff, we ain't playing our bowl game. And we're just going to bow out of playing anything. And then in doing so, then you got other teams that have bowed out, such as Iowa State and Kansas State. And then you got, now we got to invite teams that ended below 500 to try to play these bowl games that we get all these sponsors for and televise. Well, guess what? A lot of these teams that are under 500 are declining those invites as well, because everything has shifted with NIL, and now these bowl games. Now, granted, how many people really cared about the Tough Acton Tinacton Bowl or the Bridgestone All Weather Tire Bowl, or whatever they might be? But now with NIL and the playoff set, no one cares about these games shouldn't even exist, but they're going to eventually fade away because now the money isn't needed from these sponsor bowls. They're getting the money through NIL.
Yeah.
So with that, you're going to expand the playoffs. They're already talking about, maybe as soon as next year, have it go to 16 teams. And in a few years after that, it'll probably go more. But no matter how many teams you put in, every year, there's going to be one or two teams that you're going to have the argument of how did they not get in?
Yeah, I mean, I think in my view, the worst. Here's the thing: both of Notre Dame's losses came at the very beginning of the year, right?
Yeah.
They lost to Miami. They lost to A&M. Both of those teams, by the way, are in the college football playoff. A&M is one of the best teams in college football this year. Miami, again, in the grand scheme of things, is one of the best teams in college football also. But that was their first loss. Those two losses, Miami, they lost to Miami by 3. They lost to A&M by 1. The rest of the year, Notre Dame ran the table on everybody, including USC. Yeah. They are, they did what they were supposed to do. Again, if you want to say their loss to Miami killed them, okay, that's one thing. But none of those losses that Notre Dame suffered at the beginning of the year are as bad as the loss that Alabama suffered to Florida State to start the year. Alabama, for the lack of a better term, shit the bed against Florida State to start the year. I mean, that was a loss that you just can't look at. Now, here's the thing. I think there certainly is an SEC bias that comes to the playoff.
Oh, of course there is.
The issue that I have with a lot of people that say that, though, is that I think it's warranted. There kind of should be, in a sense.
Well, they're the best conference in football. We know that.
Teams are better in the SEC. I don't know what you like. If you're just upset that the SEC has better football teams than the Big 12 or the ACC, then I don't know what to tell you. They have the better teams. That's end of story. Okay. Here's what I think. Honestly, I was a proponent of college football expanding the playoff from 4 teams, and I think a lot of people were. However, I thought 12 teams was too big. I thought 12 teams was too many. I think it should have been 8. That was my expansion. Okay. I thought it should have been, and again, it's hard to do this now because all the conferences are so fucked up, but I thought it should have been the 5 Power 5 conference champions, right? Or what used to be the Power 5, right? Where SEC, ACC, Big 10, Big 12, Pac-12, all of those conference champions got automatic bids. You had 2 at-larges and a mid-major. That I thought was the appropriate size of the playoff. Now, because the Pac-12 seemingly doesn't exist anymore, and the Big 12 now has 18 teams, and the Big 10 has 16, and the SEC has 18, or some ridiculous shit like that. now that's can't be implemented. I share, Josh, in the same sentiment as you that college football as a whole is a broken product, and it'll take a lot of work to rebuild because the system they have in play now, I'm sorry, like ever since they implemented the expanded playoff, I'll be honest with you, I'm the host of a radio show, okay? I co-founded a sports network. I have cared so much less about college football in the last couple of years. I've cared less. I don't care as much anymore.
I don't really care either for situations like this. And again, with teams just bowing out and not caring, or players, I'm not going to bother playing in it because, I'm not getting paid enough for it. Don't want to risk injury, about to transfer, whatever the case may be. Because at this point, you're talking about, you wish, the playoffs was a smaller field. At this point, I think it makes the most sense to make it bigger and have it be 24 teams, which I know sounds ridiculous and would be crazy because there'll certainly be upsets in it. But at this point, what do people follow every year? That AP top 25, which we know once you get about halfway through the season becomes completely irrelevant because then there's the separate playoff bracket that doesn't always coincide with the AP poll. So if you made the AP poll instead of top 25, top 24, and guess what? Whoever those 24 teams are the ones who make the playoffs. You get rid of the other bowl games. Your top 8 get a first-round bye. And now all of a sudden you're getting the excitement of a December, January madness like we get in college basketball, March Madness. That might make it a little more enticing for us to try to get back into college football.
Yeah.
Because now we have the chance of, could there be a Cinderella type deal with football? Because just like basketball, it's just one game.
Yeah.
And usually at the end of the day, you still have your top favorites that are the ones that get to the Final Four or the championship. So, because when you look at this bracket of the current playoffs, everyone that is not heavily invested in college football is going to be rooting for JMU. James Madison. Oh my God, could they do the 12-5 upset, in football that we always see every year in college basketball? And now we want to root for them. And so that's like the one intrigue. Like, I'm looking at this first round. I'm interested in watching JMU, Oregon, and Tulane, Ole Miss. So let's see how Ole Miss does without Lane Kiffin, if Tulane could pull off the upset, and then if JMU could pull off the upset.
Yeah.
That's all I care about this. And it's a shame because we should be talking about Indiana and what they've done. They have more losses than any Division I football team. Yeah. And they're the number 1 team. They won the Big Ten title. They're going to have the most likely Heisman winner. And they should be celebrated. But we're talking about how broken college football is.
Yeah. A program that has, quite possibly the best quarterback in college football right now in Fernando Mendoza. What Indiana has done this year is beyond what I think anybody could have expected.
Yeah.
Seriously. It is just so insane what they've done. And it is totally possible, by the way, that the Big Ten championship will be the national championship. Right? Like Ohio State and Indiana absolutely find themselves again. We could absolutely see that. Okay, let's go to break. Coming up next, how should I tease this, Josh? Should we just say we will bitch about the Clippers, or will?
It's the self-destruction of the other LA NBA team.
The other LA NBA team. Perfect. All right. We'll run it. We'll be back in a minute.
Cowboys Nation, what up? It's your boy EJ Savage over here at Boys in the Zone, where it's everything Cowboys related, from the latest news, off-season talk like training camp and draft analysis, and of course, during season game breakdowns and commentary. Would love to see you in the chat kicking it with myself and other members of Cowboys Nation, whether it be a guest that I myself bring in, or Cowboys fan forum videos where I bring you guys on, or even other chat members. We're always live on Twitter and YouTube, talking the boys. So really, the only thing left to say is, how about them Cowboys? See you there. Peace.
Hey, what's going on? My name is Tim Barnett, and welcome into the Boston Sports Summit. If you're a fan of any of these four teams right here, or you're like me and you love all four of them and you follow them religiously, you're a big fan, this is the show for you. The big thing with this is real commentary and authenticity. I'm going to tell you like it is. If we're great, then we're great. But if we suck, I'm going to tell you that we suck and we need to improve. I'm also not afraid to call out our ownership or front office for making bad decisions, just like I'm not afraid to call out our coaches or our players for screwing some things up or doing great. All right? Because that's what this show is all about. It's about authenticity. So listen, if you're a fan of any of these teams or you're a fan of all four of them, check me out, the Boston Sports Summit, every Wednesday, live at 7 p.m., and it's electric, all right? We're going to go into some great detail about the Sox, Patriots, Celtics, and even the Bruins. And hey, you might even get a guest appearance from my little puppy here. So, it's a great show. Don't forget to tune in every Wednesday, 7 p.m. You can also follow me on all socials, on Instagram, X, and YouTube, Boston Sports Summit. So check us out. It's a great show. It's a great time. Hope to see you there. God bless.
What's going on, y'all? It's Arthur Hurst from the Grid Network, letting y'all know to check out the Saturday morning tailgate starting at 10 Eastern every Saturday. Check us out on YouTube, X, Instagram, wherever you get your podcasts. Tune in for some humor, some great analytics between me, my boy Bryson, and Tim. Again, Saturday morning tailgate every Saturday at 10 Eastern on the Grid Network. See y'all there.
What up, Cowboys Nation? We are Cowboys Can Fan.
You know, like Canadian fan. And we're big Dallas Cowboy fans. We live stream every Dallas Cowboys game with our unapologetic, intoxicated play-by-play and color commentary, and we guarantee you won't find anything like this anywhere else.
We do that in the ring together?
We told you not so bland was here to stay, baby.
And if you like to have a couple cold ones,
Crack 'em if you got 'em, son. Crack 'em if you got 'em, son.
Crack 'em if you got 'em. And watch the Dallas Cowboys play football.
you need to join us 1 hour before the Cowboys kick off. Throw your score prediction in our live chat, and if you're right, guess what? We'll send you a shirt, some Can Fan merch. Click the link, check us out, and subscribe if you like what we do.
Oh, and remember, BYOB.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Bring your own boosh.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Bryson Carver, and I'm the host of the Carving It Up podcast right here on the Grid Network, as well as my own personal YouTube channel, Carving It Up with Bryson Carver. On my show, talk about a number of the biggest topics in the world of sports, as well as culture and entertainment, and I include special segments such as Bryson's Best 10, The Ball View, and one of my favorites, Carving Up the Context. I also like to invite special guests on the show to get different insights and perspectives on topics, and most importantly, I love to hear from you, the audience, in the chat below. So check out Carving It Up 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific time on YouTube, Facebook, X, and on Instagram. Check the show out anywhere you get your podcasts as well as on the YouTube channel. Appreciate you guys.
Alex Rodriguez is coming out with a documentary, and it goes into detail. Like, he's never talked about the steroid part of it and all the pressure. You will do a lot more desperate things to try to stay relevant, and you can see that he was straining to be this person that he wasn't, instead of just being the person that he always should have been. Just, I'm Alex Rodriguez, because of imposter syndrome. He had to be somebody that he wasn't. goes to the Yankees, gets another big fucking contract. I empathize with that because when you're this great player and people are looking at you and they're looking through you, it makes you realize that maybe Alex doesn't matter. I have to be A-Rod.
Yo, this is Barry Grant Jr. I want to give a big shout out to Mike and Josh and be on the lookout for more clips from All Even Podcast.
This is Patrick L. Brown, lead journalist here at the Grid Network, reminding you to make sure that you check out all of the latest articles over on the Grid's webpage under the blog section. There you will find the hottest takes in sports mixed in with some mental health articles as well. Dare to be different? Enter the Grid, your new leaders in digital media, sports, and entertainment. As I always say, stay tuned.
Well, here we go. We are back on Mike and Josh. It is now about 12:30. Again, a bit of an abbreviated show today. Again, I apologize for my busyness early in this morning that allowed us to be late. But Josh, we listen. We have some. To me, these are more of the fun topics for me because the topics where I get to see you just absolutely shit on teams or people, like those are the things that are like really fun for me. So that's something that I want to see. So let's talk about the Clippers. They're 6-18. They're tied for second to last place in the Western Conference. Only the Pelicans are worse. And boy, are the Pelicans bad. They're 3-20.
They're very bad.
They are almost as bad as the Thunder are good, which is frightening to say, by the way. The Thunder are 23-1. They, oh my God. I'll tell you something, Josh, before we get into the Clippers real quick. I really think the Thunder are going to break the record.
They're absolutely going to break the record.
They're going to, they could shatter it. Like they could go like 77-5.
Yeah.
Like I really think they're that good.
Yeah.
So
there has not been once they got to like 15-1, I was just like, oh no, this is probably gonna happen.
Yeah.
And they haven't lost since then.
Now, here's the thing: is do they break the record and then lose in the finals, just like the Warriors did?
Which is why no one should really be talking about it unless they actually win the title with it.
Yeah. Listen, we'll see, man. But Josh, you were gracious enough to have our good friend Alfred break down the timeline for the.
I wrote up this timeline and sent it to Alfred with his graphic knowledge to then make a nice graphic for it. But I decided to write up the timeline of events of what has happened with the Clippers this season. So obviously the big news, September 3rd, is before the season begun, but that's when all the news with aspiration, Steve Ballmer and Kawhi Leonard, all that began. So obviously putting a big black cloud over the franchise before the season began, where they were projected to once again win 50 games and projected to be a top 4 team in the West. October 24th is when the season has just begun, but now the poker rigging scandal emerged with Chauncey Billups and Damon Jones, and Coach Tyronn Lue is brought up in it. Not saying he was like part of the evil regime, but he was at the game that it all like was taking place. So now there's another cloud with the controversy. Then you're having the actual season where November 3rd, Kawhi gets hurt again, out for a few weeks with a sprained right foot. November 12th, Bradley Beal, who they brought in, who they thought they could rejuvenate his career, well, he fractures his hip and he's out for the season. November 16th, Derrick Jones sprains his MCL. He is currently still out with injury. And then they just keep losing and losing and losing some more. And then we have this last week where December 3rd, they waived one of the greatest point guards in the history of the NBA who went back to the Clippers for his farewell tour, and Chris Paul. We'll touch more on that in a moment. The following day, Lawrence Frank obviously is bombarded with questions, and he reiterates that Tyronn Lue is not going anywhere. They're trying to right the ship. They have the right coaching and team in place is what he says, and we're going to be fine. That same day, they then waived two-way player Jamil Telford. Now, he's not like a big player, so why is that a big deal that they waived him? It's a big deal because he actually played in that game that they had that night, where they won in Atlanta. He played in the game, and within an hour after the game was cut by the team. Then they, all of a sudden on December 6th, 2 days after that, lots of talks begin in completely blowing up the team because aside from that one within Atlanta, they keep losing. So now we're looking for trade suitors for Harden, Kawhi, John Collins, who they just brought in, as well as Zubac, who probably will have the most trade value. And this is where we are today. So this is in a span of 3 months, 2 months worth of, not even 2 months worth of NBA season. The Clippers had all these items happen. And you know what is not mentioned in any of these? Wins or losses. This is just stuff that's happening beyond that. Between the front office, the health, and the morale that's been going on with this team.
Yep.
So now, obviously, going back to Chris Paul, because that we know is the biggest story out of all of that in the timeline.
Sure.
So is Chris Paul the point guard that he once was? No, of course he's not. Is he currently an all-star caliber level player? No, of course not. And he doesn't claim that he would be either. Just last season, Chris Paul played all 82 games. He played the entire season and still averaged around 9 points and almost like around 7.5 assists off the bench for the Spurs while he was trying to help guide Wemby. And what does he do? He decides, this is going to be my final year. I want to go back to the team I had the most success for, where he is considered the greatest player in that team's history. And I want to have my farewell season. I understand I'm coming off the bench. I understand there might be some games where I don't play. But I want to help try to steer the ship and get the Clippers to another promising season. Because we knew already going in that they were going to be in this bridge. That, okay, based on their age and who they have, they pretty much have this year, maybe a little next year, and then the rebuild's going to really begin and try to set a future in this beautiful new arena. We're away from the Lakers now. We have our own world. We're hosting the All-Star game. And then lawsuit, aspiration, crime with the poker rigging scandal, where, again, Tyronn Lue is not being, accused of anything, but he was at the game. So obviously there's the cloud over that. And then the injuries happen, and then they just kick Chris Paul out, who also said he wanted to go back to LA because he was sick of living away from his family. He wanted his final season not to be far away from his family. And it's not a type of thing where after this road trip, they brought him back and agreed on a buyout. Hey, it's not working. We're going to do this. Best of luck to you. No, they flat out said, we're done with you at a time where they couldn't even say it because they can't waive players for another week. The Clippers have done something that cannot be done in sports, and that is treat a multi-billion-dollar organization like a failed startup company. And you think, okay, well, maybe there will be a future with it. Well, we've talked a little bit about their future draft assets on the show, but I will reiterate again. They do not have a first-round pick in 2026. That pick is unprotected to the freaking Thunder. They do not have a first-round set pick in 2027 because the Thunder have the right to swap picks with them in 2027. They do not have a pick, period, in 2028, first or second. And in 2029, they do not have control of their first-round pick because Philadelphia has the right to swap picks with them. So it is fire sale for the Clippers in hopes of trying to get really picks because you're not going to bring in star-studded talent. You're going to have to trade Harden for who knows what. You're going to have to trade Kawhi for who knows what. You're going to have to trade Zubac for who knows what. And all of a sudden, you have a franchise with the state-of-the-art arena trying to bring in revenue, has already been losing revenue because of the fact that no one is going to the games. I was at the Clippers Heat game early in the season, and there were more people there to cheer on Norman Powell's return to the Clippers than they were cheering for the Clippers themselves. Who, by the way, Norman Powell, he's about to be an all-star.
Yeah.
Because he has single-handedly made Miami, who was supposed to be in rebuild mode, a strong team in the East all of a sudden. You've done this, and it is only getting worse for the Clippers. It will not get better until it gets worse. I'm out of breath.
Yeah.
I mean,
this is as...
What else is there? What else can be said?
Well, I mean, Patrick L. Brown has something that he would like to say on this topic. The LA Flippers, Slippers, Grifters, Jitters, Blippers, no matter the name, all the same. Nobody cares about the stepchild who haven't won a title. That is true. They are the stepchild and they haven't won a title. That's also true. Listen, this is a I think this is as poorly run of an organization as there is in the NBA.
Yeah.
What they've done to sabotage their future is unlike anything else in the league. And they were also Josh, it's kind of hard to describe in a sense because I felt like they gave up on trying to win a title, but they also can't let go of it. Like, does that make sense? Like, their original effort in trying to pursue a title was something that, like, they failed to capitalize on. But yet now that it isn't working, now that it definitely isn't working, they're not giving up on it. And this just feels very tone deaf for what the league is now. Because here's the thing, like we just saw it. I'll pull up the graphic again, right? Just for the sense of this bottom piece, right? Blowing the team up and finding trade suitors for Kawhi, Harden, Collins, and or Ivica Zubac, right? I mean, there's no real valuable asset here where they can recoup some of their losses. They can't, right? Like Zubac might net you a first-round draft pick, but that's probably
Zubac will get you the most, honestly, because he is still on the underside.
Right.
So he could get you a first and a swap.
Maybe.
Maybe. It depends on the team that offers it.
Right. But also, I don't know that you could trade Kawhi. I don't know that you could trade Harden. And I don't know that you could trade. I mean, you might be able to trade John Collins, but what value does John Collins have now? I don't know that he's got much of any. I mean, he's kind of bounced around a bunch. And while he's a solid player, I mean, I don't think you're going to get some real firm assets for him. Zubac, I think, might be the only player that can give you some value. Kawhi and Harden, I think you're stuck with. I don't think there's any team in the league that would take Kawhi or Harden right now.
Well, in Kawhi, his issue is, well, can you legitimately trade him right now with all the legal stuff that's happening in the investigation with aspiration? Because how will that look if now all of a sudden you're trying to remove him from the books entirely?
Right.
And so, to your point, why would any other team want to touch that?
Right.
John Collins will probably get traded for expiring pieces, so then the Clippers can open up cap room. And then they still have guys like Brook Lopez and Nick Batum, like aging guys just sit on their bench that they could also just trade for other expiring pieces. The only one to me of the intrigue is Harden, just because he individually is having a great season. His points per game are fantastic. Could he help a team? Sure. But the question, again, to your point, what would they be willing to give up? Because if the Clippers are just willing to try to give anyone, they're not going to get nearly the type of value that you would expect from a guy like Harden.
Well, right. I mean, this is his age 36 season.
Oh, yeah. He's old.
I mean, to his credit, he's averaging 27 a game.
Right.
But, you also have to keep in mind the reputation of what James Harden is in the NBA, right? James Harden, as good of a scorer as he's been, and to his credit, as good of a passer as he's been, James Harden has the reputation of just not being a winning basketball player in this league.
Oh, of course.
Right? So,
yeah.
But you also, like I said, you have to keep in mind that James Harden falls into a group of players that I feel like only a select group of teams will actually participate in trading for, right? And it's the teams that always seem to make these kinds of moves, right? The Lakers, the Heat, Philadelphia, like the teams that can't really figure it out, but they're still trying by just kind of shuffling veterans. That's what they do.
I will just throw one curveball in there. I mean, again, I don't know how salary caps and aprons and all that could potentially work, but I look at a team like Boston for Harden.
Yeah.
Just because, hey, for the year since there's no Tatum, and the team is doing okay.
Yeah.
It would be worth giving it a shot.
Right.
And then seeing if it sticks or not. But to your point, aside from that, his potential suitors are teams like Lakers, Heat, and are either of them going to give up substantial picks for him? No,
probably not.
Nor should they.
Right.
So the Clippers are just in an absolute free fall of a disaster.
Yeah.
And
listen, the one thing the Clippers have going for them is they do lead the NBA in free throw percentage. They do. They shoot about 83% from the line, which leads the NBA.
I will tell you, the wall works. I witnessed it. It is bizarre, but it works. And the road teams always choose to face that side of the court for the first half of the game because they don't want in clutch time going up against the wall. And you see, and there were stats all last season, opponents' free throw percentage also was way down on that side of the court. So it's hey, that was a crazy idea that worked. Awesome. Nothing else for this franchise is working.
Right. Yeah, it's quite the pickle that they've put themselves in, without a doubt. All right, we'll take one last break.
Are we going to get into the game I got prepared for you?
Yeah, that was the
plan. The game. I've been excited to. You wanted a game. I need to see.
Yeah,
Mike Guido can win this game that I attempted to make.
And by the way, I have no idea what this game is.
Exactly.
I have no clue. So coming up next, Josh is surprising me with a game that I'm apparently supposed to win, even though I have no idea what the game is. We'll come back with that next.
What up, Cowboys Nation? We are Cowboys Can Fan.
You know, like Canadian fan. And we're big Dallas Cowboy fans. We live stream every Dallas Cowboys game with our unapologetic, intoxicated play-by-play and color commentary, and we guarantee you won't find anything like this anywhere else.
We do that in the ring together?
We told you Not So Bland was here to stay, baby.
And if you like to have a couple cold ones,
Crack 'em if you got 'em, son. Crack 'em if you got 'em, son.
Crack 'em if you got 'em. And watch the Dallas Cowboys play football.
you need to join us 1 hour before the Cowboys kick off. Throw your score prediction in our live chat, and if you're right, guess what? We'll send you a shirt, some CanFan merch.
Click the link, check us out, and subscribe if you like what we do.
Oh, and remember, BYOB.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Bring your own boosh.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Bryson Carver, and I'm the host of the Carving It Up podcast right here on the Grid Network, as well as my own personal YouTube channel, Carving It Up with Bryson Carver. On my show, talk about a number of the biggest topics in the world of sports, as well as culture and entertainment, and I include special segments such as Bryson's Best 10, The Ball View, and one of my favorites, Carving Up the Context. I also like to invite special guests on the show to get different insights and perspectives on topics, and most importantly, I love to hear from you, the audience, in the chat below. So check out Carving It Up 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific time on YouTube, Facebook, X, and on Instagram. Check the show out anywhere you get your podcasts as well as on the YouTube channel. Appreciate you guys.
Alex Rodriguez is coming out with a documentary, and it goes into detail. Like, he's never talked about the steroid part of it and all the pressure. You will do a lot more desperate things to try to stay relevant, and you can see that he was straining to be this person that he wasn't, instead of just being the person that he always should have been. Just, I'm Alex Rodriguez because of imposter syndrome. He had to be somebody that he wasn't. Goes to the Yankees, gets another big fucking contract. I empathize with that, because when you're this great player and people are looking at you and they're looking through you, it makes you realize that maybe Alex doesn't matter. I have to be A-Rod.
Yo, this is Barry Grant Jr. I want to give a big shout out to Mike and Josh, and be on the lookout for more clips from All Even Podcast.
This is Patrick L. Brown, lead journalist here at the Grid Network, reminding you to make sure that you check out all of the latest articles over on the Grid's webpage under the blog section. There you will find the hottest takes in sports, mixed in with some mental health articles as well. Dare to be different? Enter the Grid, your new leaders in digital media, sports, and entertainment. As I always say, stay tuned.
Okay, here we go. We're back here, and I'm kind of nervous a little bit.
Don't be nervous, young Mike.
Before we get into the game, really quick, we've been talking a little bit of baseball today. I've been on Winter Meetings Watch all show. Again, we obviously had Kyle Schwarber go to the Phillies. That's obviously big news. Edwin Diaz going to the Dodgers, I think, might even be bigger news, because that's something that we didn't really see coming. The Mets' offer to Edwin Diaz was reportedly, this is from Joel Sherman, 3 years, $66 million. Edwin Diaz took,
and the Dodgers offered how much?
3 years, $69. So the Mets lost Edwin Diaz for $1 million a year. That blows my mind.
Oh my God.
That is like that's so wild to me. And now all of the Mets fans,
but they couldn't try to go and counter and be like, "Hey, the Dodgers offered this much more. Can you beat it?" Or they're just like, "No, we're going to order."
I have no idea how these negotiations go. They could have just Edwin Diaz could have just said, "Listen, he could have just said, "Listen, I want to go play for the Dodgers. Being a Met sucks. I want to go play for the Dodgers." Okay, it could have been that. The other part of this that I think is really funny is that Met fans, after last offseason, Met fans were praising their GM David Stearns as if he was the god of baseball after getting Juan Soto and all the aspirations they had at the beginning of last year. Now they all want him fired. Like, after one season, they all want David Stearns fired. Like, this is why me and myself and Dalton just crap on that fan base all the time. It's reasons like this. Anywho, Josh, you have a game prepared.
I do, Mike. You know, we talked before we started the show that we know is just a mere weeks away from winning all the prestigious radio awards that exist.
True.
We even talked about, hey, let's occasionally throw some games into the show. And I was really thinking about it last week because we just did a little contender-pretender segment last week where then you said I won. And I was like, this wasn't a game. We were just having a discussion with things. And you're like, no, you won it. I said, like, no, we need something where there could actually be a winner and a loser. Along with that, something you have also wanted to talk with me more about, whether on camera or off, is the world of poker. Because I am a big poker nut. I love playing. I love the ability of either succeeding or failing in reading people, and all different types of strategies that go into that.
Yeah.
So, in combination of games, reading people, poker, my outrageous takes, because we know I have some bizarre takes, in honor of the greatest wrestler of all time, John Cena, having his farewell this week with the WWE, with his famous "You Can't See Me." Mike, we are playing the game "You Can't Read Me."
Oh,
and here is how the game is going to work. I have five questions. I got 5 topics here. They're a possible news thing or things that I just made up. And they have 3 choices of bizarre, outrageous takes of what could happen with them. One of them, I sincerely think can happen.
Okay.
I'm going to read them to you. All I'm going to do is read it to you. Read the choices. And then you have to guess which one you think I legit feel. So you will either be able to read me or you can't read me.
Okay.
There are 5 of them. You got to get 3 out of 5 to win. So you can win or lose.
Okay.
So, and I'll give just a quick example. This is one of the questions. But if I were to say, hey, at the end of the season, LeBron James, A, retires, B, signs an extension, C, signs with another team. And you would guess which one of those would be my take that I actually believe. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get it. Sounds good.
All right. Here we go. How are you feeling now that you know what's happening?
I feel pretty good. I feel pretty good. I feel like I know you pretty well.
All right. We will see. So, question number 1. Something that we haven't talked about yet today, but a topic that's going to happen over the next few weeks is the fact that now Giannis Antetokounmpo is open for trades. Open to discuss as far as a trade. Which of these scenarios do I think makes the most sense and most likely will happen for a Giannis trade destination? A trade package to the Warriors involving Jimmy Butler and Jonathan Kuminga, amongst other things. B, a package to the Thunder around Jalen Williams, the good Jalen Williams, plus others.
The good.
Or option C, a package to Houston around Amen Thompson and others. Which of those 3 do I think will actually happen?
So here's the thing. So my thinking is that it would not be the Thunder, because what the Thunder have right now is working, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's my thought. I would say the one you think is going to happen is the Rockets with the package for Amen Thompson and others, because the only thinking that I have in my mind is that is potentially the only offer that the Bucks would take out of those three. I don't think Jimmy Butler and Kuminga is enough to get Giannis from the Warriors. So I would say the Rockets is what you think.
Mike Guido, you can't read me.
Damn it! Damn it!
I think there's a legit possibility the Thunder could trade Jalen Williams with the Thunder.
Wow.
Because here's the thing. The Bucks obviously need to rebuild if they're going to trade Giannis. And the Thunder have shown they're winning just fine without Jalen Williams. They were like 18-1, 19-1 before he came back from injury.
Yeah.
And he is locked in now with his max deal. So the Thunder could make a package that involves Jalen Williams. So there's your all-star piece for the Bucks to have as their centerpiece. And then we talked about they have Clippers picks. They also have the protected Jazz pick in this year's draft and their own picks. So you can just do a couple of those, not all of them, because you're bringing in Jalen Williams. Jalen Williams plus some of that to the Bucks for Giannis and like his brother and maybe Cole Anthony or something of that nature. And all of a sudden, the Thunder are even more dominant now, and they can still have plenty of their picks to still build. And then the Bucks have the pieces they need to rebuild and have a star in Jalen Williams to then start it over.
Could you imagine Giannis with the Thunder?
Yes.
Could you?
Which is why I think it's scary that it is a legit possibility.
How crazy that would be. Holy moly. All right. I'm over
so you're off to a, no pun intended, thunderous start.
Yeah.
So now here's a question. Now that's going to be more up your alley.
Okay.
Baseball. A baseball question. Because you're the expert between the two of us in baseball.
Okay.
So, which of these rule changes, all of which I just made up, but which of these three rule changes do I think would help baseball the most?
Okay.
Option 1, have a set limit of intentional walks per player per game. Option 2, have a set limit of intentional walks per team per game. Option 3, if a pitcher were to throw consecutive walks, then the following count automatically starts at 1-0.
Wow. So that's a wild one. The last one.
Oh, I told you these are going to be wild takes. And none of which are probably going to happen, but this is just the way my crazy mind works.
Now, okay, so again, like I still am having trouble here getting a read, only because I think
this means I'm getting over here.
I don't think it's the last one. I don't think it's
okay.
Count. I don't think it's that. If you're asking me, the intentional walk per player per game, I think, is something that could be like that is something that I would be in favor for. Per team per game, I'm going to stick with my gut. I'm going to say intentional walks per player per game. That's my guess.
Mike?
I'm 0 for 2. I know it.
You can't read me.
Damn it. I knew it. I knew I should pick the other one.
It's set limit of intentional walks per team per game.
Yeah.
Here's my mindset with it. Because I get your thought with it. Because if we're looking back at the World Series and how many times Ohtani specifically was walked.
Yeah, right.
However, you can, all of a sudden when another player comes up, whether it's, if we're using the Dodgers as an example, well, you don't necessarily want to pitch to Freddie Freeman. You don't necessarily want to pitch to Mookie Betts. So depending on the scenario, they would still intentionally walk them. I am fully in favor of, hey, 4 balls make a walk. Well, you know what? You get 4 intentional walks per game for your team. And then let's say the game did go to extra innings. Okay, well then we can decide whether we're adding 1 or 2 more intentional walks. But that's the duration of it. So, you can use it, but then you got to strategize when you're using these intentional walks as a team. You can't just use it all on one. I mean, you could choose to use it all on one player, I guess. But, there might not be the best strategy.
Yeah. All right. I got to go 3 for 3 here now, Josh.
You got to sweep. You got to sweep the next one. And honestly, I honestly felt that the next one, number 3, was my most difficult one. So, good luck.
Great. Here we go.
Number 3, the biggest trade in this NFL offseason will be A, Myles Garrett to the Patriots. B, Breece Hall to the Chiefs. C, Justin Jefferson to the Bills.
So Breece Hall to the Chiefs, you said?
Yep. So Myles Garrett to the Patriots.
Yep.
Breece Hall to the Chiefs. Justin Jefferson to the Bills.
Oh, okay. So this is interesting because we talked about earlier in the show today how the Chiefs could use a little bit more in their running game.
Mm-hmm.
Myles Garrett to the Patriots is interesting. I don't think that that's going to happen because I just don't see. I don't think the Browns would ever trade him. Like I think the Browns have been pretty adamant that they are not going to move Myles Garrett. So the one that makes the most sense to me is Justin Jefferson to the Bills. And that would be something scary because I think how talented Josh Allen is and how talented Justin Jefferson is. I mean, you could have you could have the most talented player at their respective positions on the same team in that respect. I'm going to go with that one. I'm going to say Justin Jefferson to Buffalo is the one that you think is going to happen. Myles Garrett is a little I think that one might be a little too crazy. I think Breece Hall is a little bit too realistic. I'm going to say Jefferson to the Bills.
Mike, you can read me. That is correct. Yes, you got one. You are on the board, sir. Justin Jefferson has been as much of a professional as you could ask for with all the quarterback issues that Minnesota has had this year. And Buffalo, we know the way the AFC is, they are in win now mode. I mean, they got a legit chance this year. And while we talk about the Chiefs retooling, Ravens, who knows? Bengals, who knows? Because they have no defense right now. The Bills want to keep pushing pedal to the metal. And the Bills, to their credit, have built through the draft, and they have pretty much all their picks. So I could see something as crazy as Keon Coleman and 2 first-round picks, maybe even an additional 4th, to the Vikings for Justin Jefferson.
Yeah.
Because the Bills could afford it, and if they're in win-now mode, again, just imagine Josh Allen throwing to Justin Jefferson.
Yeah.
That'd be disgusting.
Yeah. I think you could make the argument that that's the piece. And maybe not just Justin Jefferson specifically, but that true number 1 receiver could be the piece that Buffalo needs, right? Because they're working Khalil Shakir and Keon Coleman and Tyrell Shavers and it's tough for Josh Allen to find those targets. So I like that one a lot.
And as Josh Allen enters his prime, James Cook enters his prime, Dalton Kincaid enters his prime, you get a guy like Jefferson, the offense is unbeatable.
Right. Yep. I'm with you.
All
right.
Well, Mike, you're on the board. You're on the board.
On the board. It ain't over yet.
Keep the momentum going. Question number 4. Which of these do I think will happen first? Option 1. Nikola Jokic will retire. Option 2. Steph Curry will retire. Option 3, Kevin Durant will retire.
Ooh. So, happen first. I'm scribbling on my notepad in front of me. Just
I love how you're trying to take notes and really
full
I love it. I love it.
right now.
I love it. And I love how you're focusing on your notes and not trying to actually read me like a poker player. From the way I'm sitting around.
I know. It's really terrible, by the way.
You're doing everything you're not supposed to do with poker.
That's why I'm winning too. That's why I'm not winning. So, okay. I think the boldest take is Jokic, right? Jokic is not necessarily old. I don't believe. Let me just. I just now I need to look.
Oh, now we got to research. Okay.
Now I have to look at how old Jokic is. He's not obviously he's not old, but so he is. He's 30. So he's turning 31 in February. So that's obviously the bold one. Curry and Durant are both, more advanced in years. Durant's got to be getting pretty close. Curry, I think. You know what? Okay. I'm gonna go for the boldest here. Because I think Durant is closest, but I'm gonna say that you think Jokic is gonna retire first, because here's my thought process. Maybe if Jokic wins one more championship or something like that, he may just ride off into the sunset. Or maybe even if he doesn't do that, we've already seen Jokic's, lack of love for the sport might be a contributing factor in that respect. I'm going to go bold. I'm going to say that you think that Jokic retires before Curry and before Durant. Is it over? Is it over?
You can read me. You got it.
Yes, let's go. Correct. We get to the buzzer beater, baby.
We're getting to it. And honestly, the reasons you're pretty much spot on with the reasons, because he's won a championship. He's won 3 MVPs. We know he doesn't seem to care at all about the season. He cares more about going to his horses. He has a player option after next season.
Oh, okay.
And he's currently the favorite to win MVP for the 4th time this season.
Right.
If he were to win another MVP, and it's Denver. Technically, we know the Thunder are just dominating everyone, but does Denver still have a chance to win a championship this year? Sure, they're probably the next, between them and the Lakers, the next best in the West.
Right.
So if there's a championship or at least one more MVP, the way his attitude is, I could see him after next season decline the player option, retiring at age 32, and just be like, I'm going back home to race my horses. I have all the money. I have all the accolades. I'm one of the 10 best big men to ever play the game. I don't need this anymore.
Right.
And just bounce and leave.
Yeah. Patrick,
so
saying Jokic may play with Luka before retiring. That's an interesting.
He absolutely could, and he could decline the player option and just go to the Lakers and play with Luka, and that would just be total destruction.
That would be something. Yeah, 100. That would be insane.
Oh, Mike, I love it. In true exciting game fashion, we're going to the last question on whether or not you will win. And I love
the last question.
And I love. You said at the beginning of this game that you know me well. So let's see, because this question has nothing to do with sports.
Okay.
So, which of these movie thoughts do I strongly believe in? Option 1. Kilmer is the best Batman. Option 2, dramatic Jim Carrey is better than comedic Jim Carrey. Option 3, I love Chris Pratt as the voice of Mario.
Oh, man. Okay, so I watched you for the first time in this game, by the way. I didn't write any down. So now I need you to repeat them for me so I can remember.
All right, I will repeat them one more time.
Okay.
Option 1.
Val Kilmer.
Val Kilmer is the best Batman.
Val Kilmer, best Batman. Okay.
Option 2. Dramatic Jim Carrey is better than comedic Jim Carrey.
Dramatic Jim over comedic Jim.
Option 3. I love Chris Pratt as the voice of Mario.
Pratt, voice of Mario. If I get this.
So I just want to know, because you actually watched me that time.
I did.
So what were the tells? What did you think you saw?
So the thing that I thought that I saw was you had the slightest, and I mean slightest, little smirk after you said Val Kilmer was the best Batman.
Okay.
Now, here's the issue that I have now is I don't think that's the answer. I don't think that it's Val Kilmer. So I'm going to eliminate Val Kilmer. I think that the correct answer, just because of the specificity of the choice, I'm going to say you like dramatic Jim Carrey over comedic Jim Carrey. That is my final answer. Dramatic Jim over comedic Jim.
So we're going down to the wire. That is your set answer to make or break, to win or lose this game.
Yes.
How do you feel now that you said your decision?
I feel pretty good. This is I feel more prepared for this question than I have for the previous one. So I feel okay about this right now.
Well, Mike Guido, you have won. Can you read me? Because that is the correct answer. I think Jim Carrey is the most underrated actor of the last 25, 30 years. I think he should have won an Oscar for The Truman Show. I think he should have won an Oscar for Man on the Moon. I think Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind is an incredible, incredible film. As hilarious as he is, with your Classic Ace Venturas, your Dumb and Numbers, they're all great movies.
Yeah. But
to show the range that he does in those other movies that I just named are second to none. And Jim Carrey deserves more acting respect than that he gets. So that is my take on that. And I agree with you, because honestly, I felt when I wrote these questions up that you would get number 5. That you would get those because of, as exactly said, of the specificity. And I felt good that you would get number 4 about Jokic, because that was the wildest claim of them. The first 3, I didn't think you had a chance. And you made the comment. You were down 0-2, and you won 3 straight and pulled it off. Again, I know you had a round of applause going. I'm giving you my own applause. You won. See, this was a game where you won, Mike, and you should be proud of yourself.
I did. I won. I am a wiener. But listen, I think the hardest question for me, honestly, was the Giannis trade question.
Mm.
That one was hard because like all of those kind of made sense to me.
Right.
There were some of them that I was just like, well, because like the baseball question, I was like, okay, like the consecutive walks thing leading to a 1-0 count, like that's really out there. So I was like, I don't think that could be it. And then I just was down to the 2, and then I picked the wrong one. But yeah, the other ones I felt, I think as the game went on, I started to kind of catch the flow of things, and there we go, thus leading to my victorious win.
Well done. Well done. Maybe this means you'll be able to take poker chips from me at the table. Probably not.
Probably not. You're probably way better than me. I would bet. You're way, way, way better. So I've actually never even asked you this, or maybe I have, and I don't remember the answer. But have you played in the main event, or have you just
played in World Series? I've played in World Series of Poker events, but not the main event.
Not the main event. Well, the buy-in for the main event is like what, $10,000 or something like that.
Yeah.
Like it is. You almost have to be sponsored for that.
Right.
But
so I've not played that. So I've played a number of the smaller events. I have 2 World Series cashes, and actually just about 2 weeks ago at a World Series of Poker circuit event out here in Los Angeles, I got my first World Series circuit final table.
Oh wow!
So I played an event out here with a little over 300 players and got to the final table.
Wow, good for which game was it? Hold'em? Was it PLO? What was
Oh yeah, pretty much all Hold'em.
Is it all Hold'em? Yeah. See, I'm not an Omaha guy. I'm not. I just there's too much going on for me to be.
I like Omaha. Before I start betting that type of money into a tournament with it, I definitely need to improve my game in it before I jump into something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I primarily play no.
All right. Well, that does it for us. By the way, before we end, we did get a little bit of breaking news. And I just want like quick thoughts on this.
Okay.
The Colts signed Phillip Rivers.
They officially signed him.
They have signed Phillip Rivers, the 44-year-old legit grandfather. Phillip Rivers has been signed by the Indianapolis Colts. My guess is it has to be to back up Riley Leonard, but
Riley Leonard's questionable because he got hurt on Sunday. So
Phillip Rivers
might play this Sunday. And he has not played in the NFL in not 1, not 2, but 5 years. He is Hall of Fame eligible. He has now lifted his Hall of Fame eligibility because he's back in the NFL. And now has to restart.
Yeah, right.
Isn't it amazing what happened to the Colts in a matter of weeks? Where now they're relying on 44-year-old Phillip Rivers or something like that. It also makes me think, what quarterbacks out there couldn't get signed?
Right.
That are actually young and are trying to get back onto a team. The Colts are going to become a fascinating study because with the Daniel Jones injury, that's going to keep him out at least until mid next season.
Yeah.
And you don't have your next 2 first-round picks. And there's not a big market for free agent quarterbacks out there. And you can't make a big trade for one because you just gave up those picks. The Colts' future at quarterback, like next season, is going to be something like Mac Jones. And will he be able to lead this team next year? Or maybe Phillip Rivers does so good that they keep him hanging around. I mean, they're making the Colts are making Joe Flacco look like a young up and comer right now. It is fascinating, but I'll tell you what, if Rivers ends up playing, I want to watch the Colts this weekend just to see what happens.
So Phillip Rivers was a fascinating choice. USA Today put out an article of options for the Colts. One of them was Sam Ellinger. Okay. Taylor Heineke.
Heineke's not on a team?
Heineke is not
I thought he was
on
still
the
back at team. Wow.
He is not on a team. Trevor Siemian. He's currently Siemian is on the Titans practice squad at the moment.
Okay.
Ryan Tannehill, who's 37, and he has already said he's likely done playing football.
Yeah.
And Hendon Hooker.
Oh, that's a name I forgot.
So,
I mean,
all of which I would have considered more likely than Phillip Rivers.
Yeah, especially if Simeon has still been regularly practicing with an NFL team.
Right. Ellinger is
the Heineke one shocks me. I thought he was still a backup somewhere. I would 100% bring him on because he has experience going in and winning games.
Yeah, Ellinger is currently also on the Broncos practice squad. I think those are the only two guys that are actually on a team at the moment.
This is just fascinating. And I'll tell you what, who this impacts the most is Jonathan Taylor. Because Jonathan Taylor 6 weeks ago was MVP candidate. He might no longer be a finalist for Offensive Player of the Year because now for these last few games, that's all the defense is going to focus. Like, if Phillip Rivers can beat us, so be it.
Right.
But we are going to stop Jonathan Taylor amongst everything. And then all of a sudden, between Jack Smith and Jigba, Puka Nacua, and the way Jahmyr Gibbs has been playing the last few weeks, all of a sudden, I think Jonathan Taylor might fall out of the Offensive Player of the Year conversation.
Yep.
What a turnaround for the Colts.
Wild.
What an it is fascinating. I need to watch. Who do they play on Sunday? Who do they play? Let me see. They got Seattle. They got one of the best defenses in the league. They're at Seattle.
In Seattle, yeah. Oh, boy.
Please let Phillip Rivers start that game. I want to watch that game so bad.
I would love to see it. I mean, he's got to be damn near close to geriatric, no? I mean, you
said it. He's a literal grandfather.
He is.
Has there ever been a grandfather play quarterback in the NFL?
I doubt it.
Because I wasn't going to say ever a grandfather in period, but I feel like Antonio Cromartie had enough kids that he might have been a grandfather.
That's also true at some point. Antonio Cromartie probably did cross the line at some point during his career.
Grandfathers play in the. I love how that's like a top search now on Google. Brett Favre apparently was a grandfather when.
Okay.
When he was still in the NFL. But aside from that, it looks like it's Phillip Rivers.
Wow.
According to a quick Google search.
Amazing. All right.
Now, how old do we feel knowing that a grandfather is going to be starting at quarterback in the NFL?
Yeah.
And I'm trying to muster up enough strength to get to the gym to go on a treadmill and walk.
Yeah, I can barely touch my toes.
What's
that? Yeah, I can. I can touch my toes.
Are you bending your knees?
Yeah, like any normal person would.
Okay, well then it's not.
I'm moving? No, God. Expecting me to move is something that I'm not capable of doing.
I mean, I pulled something coming up with those questions for the game. So I don't know what, but something got pulled and strained.
Oh, but I was having a conversation with my uncle yesterday, and my uncle is nobody in my family is even somewhat capable of at all being a professional athlete. The way that we're built, it's just like it wasn't in the cards for us. But I was talking to my uncle, and I've seen him throw a baseball off a professional mound. Okay. Or at least a professional distance mound. And he could barely throw it over the plate. And we were having a conversation about how if he were to get signed by a major league team, his contract length would be about 4 pitches, maybe. And that's it. It would be Tommy John after that. Like just nothing later. So anywho, you had to be there. Anyway, that does it for us. And as we close out the show, you are
listening to Mike Guido and Josh Tariff. Buckle up!
Neither of us grandfathers.
Neither of us are grandfathers.
And neither of us can start as quarterback in the NFL. But apparently, Philip Rivers, inspiration.
Mike and Josh.
His inspiration was all.
Mike and Josh. Mike and
Josh.
His contract consists of guaranteed butterscotch candy.
We'll be back next week.